So, a couple of things we can, start out with, minutes for, February 3rd, 2022. We have a motion there.
I have a motion.
Okay.
I move CPC vote to approve the minutes of February 3rd, 2026 as written.
Second. We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion, any questions on it? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. The record show 5 in favor, no opposed. Okay, we got a few minutes here, so, let's talk about the town meeting warrant articles real quick. Yeah, we have, do we have a listing of the warrant articles for them? To discuss here? Or we just
So
approve?
it's the warrant so the agenda item, to discuss our warrant articles. I don't have a full listing of the whole warrant, but I do have 3 that,
Just the ones that pertain to us.
sure. So we've received 2 street acceptances, requests for street acceptances. One is for Shea Lane subdivision. The other one is for, Nickel Street extension. So both of those, we will have a hearing scheduled for, but we've received a letter and an as-built, or not an as-built, but a street acceptance plan at this point, indicating that both of those developers would like to request, street acceptance at town. So warrant article has been submitted for those 2. And then the third one, because we included in our operating budget request money for the Economic Development Committee. I had been advised that it was pretty unlikely that it would be funded through the operating budget. So as a backup, I was also asked to submit it as a warrant article. So because the deadline was yesterday for submittal of warrant articles, I did submit it. Anything can be withdrawn if you prefer that any of these not be on the warrant, but I didn't want to miss the deadline. So those were the 3 that I have submitted.
So basically what that does by submitting that as a warrant article, it means it's gonna come up at town meeting. Right, and that means gives us an opportunity to explain to the town what we're doing, what we need that for, and what we'd like to do. So, I think the Economic Development Committee needs some tools to work with, and I think that we were kind of charged with keeping an eye on them, so, let's, maybe we can get together and get them some money to help to develop the program. Everybody understand. Did you want to say anything about the program, Jeff? What you're talking about?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You want to talk at all about the program that we want the 25,000 going?
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting last night, Danielle. You did a great job, by the way. Trying to unbundle what we worked so hard for in a couple of minutes. I mean, it's a great tool. It's a great opportunity. I think we kind of maybe missed a step in there a little bit in order to be better prepared, because our contract with the vendor, the board was that's all they were looking for, really. If we had come up with a little more solidified plan, I think that we could have pushed it over. I don't know, but I don't think they clearly understood our position as a committee. They didn't, I don't think they had enough time to understand what steps we were taking to be very cautious with it and not throw good money after bad, right? So I think the warrant article actually was a pretty good idea. I think that with that going to town meeting, I can't see how that wouldn't pass. I just can't see how it wouldn't. I mean, there's so many benefits. There's so much that we can do. The EDC was, they've worked really hard, and when they were meeting regularly, it was really productive, and their ideas were great. And it's a great tool to move forward to try to promote business and highlight businesses, and to, center stage some businesses in town through the site, and really like a partnership. But we just have a little more work to do. I still think it will go. I just think that and I'm glad you did that with the warrant article. That was very good. Very good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're okay with that.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that if it didn't pass, as a warrant article, it might be because there wasn't a funding source. So I know a lot of our free cash is expected to be taken up by other things, snow and ice, other things that have come up this year. So it's possible there may not be a funding source for it if that happens. It may not.
So to a little better explanation there is, the money for this, when we propose this, we gotta pick a place that the money's supposed to come from.
Right.
Say, and I think that the place that Danielle's talking about, requesting that the money come from is free cash, which is only 25,000. However, because there's a budget shortfall, that's a little large,
Oh,
that may cause people to look second guess trying to spend even any money, even though this is a very small amount and still with things.
right. Well, one thing I thought was interesting too, at one of the budget meetings, they were talking about, one of the committees couldn't really lock anything down. They had almost as much money put aside in that committee with one of their goals as we are in a deficit. It was about $800,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that'll work as far as the select board, juggles that money around, but I know that if that were the case, it'd be a push, would be right there. There'd be a dead even. So I don't know. I can't see how this really wouldn't pass.
That money was for like the elderly, and for the services provided by the building on the common and services to elders. And
Right.
for about $38,000 or $28,000, they're gonna parcel it out. But that 800 was to was to at least explore building a generational center. So, but since none of the sites that they were looking at could provide the services they were looking for,
Right.
it's likely, correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle, but if they don't have a vendor for that money would go back into the.
I'm not sure how, I think you're right.
That's the feeling I got last night.
Yeah, so if it does, and if it's a possible thing, the select board may wanna do that just in order to get a balanced budget this year, because the weather, the snow thing this year really kind of was unprecedented for the last few years. If you were using the last 2 or 3 years as a benchmark, you would never have budgeted anywhere near that amount, and yet, we had some pretty hefty storms and it ate the budget right out, so. That's where the overages comes from. So, there's a possibility, you're right, that if they do that, if they just put that back in there, maybe and that of course would take away some of the argument, some of the sting out of putting 25,000 into that.
I think the hard part really was to get across that ultimately, when you look at a 25 budget, a 26 budget, and what we were asking for, it was right there. I mean, we weren't asking, it is a lot of money, I'm not saying it's not. But because we suspended our budget last year and then this year.
But they didn't level fund that this year.
I'm sorry?
There was not level funded for that 10,000 this year.
The
Oh,
10
okay.
was, they let us carry forward from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Last year, they said we could use that 10, but we were not getting anything new immediately.
Yeah.
And so-
That money wasn't there. Sorry.
Anyways, I know
It was a good thought, but that money was never there, so but that's, it really wouldn't have mattered because it wasn't gonna be enough overall. So I think having the opportunity to plead our case to the town in general is what we need to do. And in the meantime, maybe talk it up a little and get a little support going for it.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
I just think if we want to go to town meeting and present this, all those financial questions need to be answered as far as not just where it's coming from, what it's gonna really cost and how long that funding will keep it up. To your point, you've discussed not having a defined town center. I think the way I look at this is kind of having a virtual town center, almost like having a,
Yeah, good point.
it could be put, that way,
Yeah,
as
good
far as a
point.
collection of where to look for what you want in town. I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think that in order to explain it at town meeting to get the warrant passed,
Right,
Well, I think
that money needs to be not just where it's coming from, but what it what the real numbers are and how long that money will last.
So the select board kind of asked us to take this on a few years ago, but we didn't, we weren't really initially. Initially, the select board was supposed to set the EDC up, and but they handed it off to us to manage if we put the money in our budget. So, so as far as town meeting goes, someone from the EDC should be, not necessarily us.
Sure.
Should be making this presentation based on, you know, the knowledge of what was in that contract that we're trying to get.
And I forget, your liaison too, are you a voting member of the EDC
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whoever it is, I mean, the EDC needs to meet and come up with a plan. And if they need support, we can support, but somebody from the EDC needs to make this pitch.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And have it documented, like have it like
Yeah, I
this is, you know.
Yep.
Just,
in a while, try to keep it too.
right,
I mean.
Oh, yeah, that was a big part of it, Billy.
And we, of course, would have the opportunity to stand up and support it. You know, by talking about what the growth that's happening in the town and how we see this benefiting it. So. But the EDC will have to do the present on it.
I was pleasantly surprised, Danielle, with the video that we put out, was so active.
I didn't know it had that many views because I don't post the Facebook site, so
I
never
thought
see
that was
stuff.
great. I was like, I was waiting for the dismal number and I was like, but I was surprised.
or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Or over 8, a little over 8.
Yeah,
It's a good
it's
thing.
pretty good. Yeah.
Right. We have any DBAs tonight?
We do have a couple,
Yeah, it's good.
for Apple Tree Lane, home occupation, the applicant runs theater workshops. Home occupation special permit to run the office for theater workshop out of the residence at the college. Showing occupation. And that's pretty much it. I know the home occupation bylaw says that, you know, clients can't come to the home, so it sounds like it's a request for the office only. There's really no other.
That we're at a slow year.
Seems like if it's an office, you know, it can buy, or.
Yeah, 300 square feet, office reviews, no. No, it's not coming up with this.
Oh, here, there's another description here. Using home as an office, will be renting space to hold drama classes typically in the greater Boston area. So it sounds like the classes will be held in various locations, but the office is what the request is for. Sharing?
We're not gonna go
Unless you're-
Sure.
Do you want me to screen share anything?
Yeah, it's not coming up.
Not
with this.
really.
The other one comes up just fine, so. Okay, home occupation special permit, okay, applicant.
Oh, this is.
So Englewood is the,
Englewood.
is the addition.
Okay, your variance for addition. Okay, I got it.
Hearing notice. Home occupation, special permit to run the office for theater workshops out of the residence at 4 Apple Tree Lane. This is the application that was submitted.
All right, so, yeah, this says, this one has Englewood after Apple Tree, so Apple Tree is all, you gotta go through all Apple Tree.
This is Apple Tree. Yeah, this is still Apple Tree. This is the
So Englewood, if we're talking Englewood, okay, it's,
this one's the Apple Tree application. For the home office.
okay, well, let's deal with Englewood first here, so let's just set the setback,
Right, this is a side setback
yeah.
variance request.
Warren, I think the, Mr. Chair, the best plan
Oh,
on
they're
that
all in there.
package is the last one, which shows the proximity to butters, structures, all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the
I think the next
10-2
one,
and the 14-8.
you go down, more Danielle, if you're driving. Who's driving? Are you driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep going.
This
Well,
one.
that's the setback.
That gets the
To relieve. But that one I think is key, because it's a very emphasized lot, so it's not the issue, it's not a tight lot, but they're just. With setbacks, you can tell with that geometry, it pinches it down, there's not a lot to build when you put setbacks into that kind of lot geometry, so if you look at the abutters, they're really not.
Close.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and I think that's the best sell of this for them at the ZBA meeting is.
Just the configuration of that.
Yeah, you know what I mean, if, without that context, the sheet before, the two views before, you're pinching well into the 25, right?
Right.
When you put in context, it's,
Yeah, there's some more than sufficient distance to any other.
yeah, and it's a tricky lot, again, they indicate that on the previous slide. You can see there's one offset in there for 25 feet, it shows you how, if you offset that whole lot 25 feet, just to get the side yards, you see there's not a lot of area to build it, you know, it pinches everywhere, so. Whoever originally did it pulled off some magic,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it did.
So just for the sake of, the reminder, everybody, normally go to the Board of Appeals if there's something, you know, that's created a problem for you, or, you know, they can't solve this, it's necessary. As opposed to, just randomly wanting to do things, so.
Yeah.
If we don't have any problem with that, because as Dave said, there's plenty of room for everything you can, I think we should at least just say neighbors are, you know.
Yeah.
And make sure our neighbors don't have any particular thing or any particular plan to do anything else back there that might impact, so. So, you know, if one of the neighbors wanted to put something on the back of their house, they could begin to impact some of this, so. So I would say just neighbors for that, or anyway, okay? Okay, all the way back to average.
This is the home occupation special permit.
Well, yeah, I was looking at the road.
This is Apple Tree Lane. This is the description.
This is just to use an existing room in as a home office.
The drama rented space would be, the drama class rented space would be elsewhere.
That's right.
Travel classes are in the car.
What's that?
It's just a minivan.
Here's a pool banner.
Method acting, just
Well,
everyone's
well,
screaming inside a van.
I'm just looking at the type of business, right? And the type of business is drama classes. Does that mean that people are coming to the house for drama classes?
So it states the drama class would be, they're managing classrooms elsewhere from this office. They're not hosting classes. Is how it reads, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
to me,
agree.
that's how it reads. Using home as an office will be renting space to hold drama classes typically in the greater
Yeah,
Boston area.
yeah,
Because the home occupation bylaw prohibits clients and customers from
Right.
attending them.
yeah, well, that's why when I saw that, I'm like, well, wait a minute, what are we, what's really going on? So. You know, want to expand a living room, so this looked like they were trying to make room for, you know, something to happen there. Just want to make sure that it was clear that it's not supposed to.
But within the footprint, right?
Yeah,
Whatever the living room expansion is,
yeah, they were expanding it into the whole classes in the house.
that would be.
Yeah, that was the concern.
That's true.
Thank you.
That should go. Right, so we have any comments on that? Are we okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
As long as it does, as long as it meets that the statutory requirements for the office space, it's fine. Okay, so we'll be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed the two public hearings are time sensitive, time specific, so you have to wait for that particular time before we can then begin them. And the first one will be come at 7:30, which would be Walmart. So we just wait for them to go for the timing.
Would you like me to do my updates now, or
Pardon?
would you like me to do my updates now? I
Yeah, you
can,
can do updates now.
we can always stop at something. Okay, so I just, one of the updates is just about, minutes. So minutes on the website, we have to, make them ADA compliant in the way that we post them, and that means that we shouldn't be scanning and posting, so, it's going to change a little bit the way we do physical signatures. So the town clerk has said, we don't need to have a physical signature, but what we do need to do is, you know, have a person's name printed who has prepared the minutes. And then directly PDF that Word document and post it that way on the site, and it does not need the town clerk stamp. Separately be filed with the town clerk. So instead of physically signing the minutes, what we'll do is, once the minutes are voted as approved, we will type the name of the preparer of the minutes with a /S to show that that's the typed electronic signature. So I just wanted to update you because it is a little bit new. We've always done the physical signature. But for, you know, future minutes on, that's just how we'll do it to be sure we're keeping up with ADA compliance, and we aren't required to have the physical signature, but before we type that in, we will wait until next.
Because an inability for somebody to come over and sign that's what.
If somebody physically signs it, then that has to be scanned, and the scanned PDF, even if it's processed in a way to make it more searchable, is really not fully searchable and doesn't fully meet ADA compliance. So we're being asked to directly make a PDF out of the Word document, which is why they don't really want us using physical signatures anymore. So I just kind of wanted to explain that process. We're just kind of working through it. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is the town clerk said that it's usually the person who actually takes the minutes, whose name is on it. We do the minutes. It doesn't necessarily matter. I think this board has always had whoever is the clerk have their name on it. It's your preference. We can have the actual preparer of the minutes, or we can have the clerk's name on it, but because, you know, whatever your preference is, how we'll prepare them.
So normally you are Kelly in this case.
It would be Kelly's name, and I think for all those years, what would have been Debbie's name if we had kind of done it that way, but, it's however you want to do it. I mean, we are your staff, so.
All those years of credit, then he's not gonna get that.
I mean,
26 years.
I don't see a, I don't see an issue with it. I think perhaps we should continue to have Kelly do it and have Kelly's name on it. Because otherwise, I mean, again, all the people on this board are all volunteers and should be better positioned to research a question or something that comes up on. Find out what's going on as opposed to John trying to figure it out.
We can,
You know, from a practical point of view, it would be best. She did and spend hours listening to those recordings.
okay.
So it behooves us to be careful when we speak and clear, concise.
Mhm.
Well, that's always the case.
More than a few times Debbie has said, I couldn't understand what you guys are saying.
Right. She'll call me over, do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, so we need to focus on that, that's all.
Okay, great, and I see it's 7:30, so I can hold my other updates till
Okay.
after we're done.
Okay, being 7:30, we're gonna open this public hearing for Walmart. Do you have
The notice,
a notice, yes,
just read the notice.
please?
Notice is hereby given that the North Reading Community Planning Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026 at 7:30 PM in room 14 of the North Reading Town Hall and online on the application of 72 Main Street, North Reading, Mass. For a site plan review and floodplain special permit. The plan is entitled Expansion to a Walmart Supercenter with Full Grocery, dated January 28th, 2026, for the property located at 72 Main Street, North Reading, Mass. Map 23, lots 29 and 81. And there's a URL for the online version, so it's available online.
Do you want me to start with this one, Bob? Or do you want me to start with the other?
Yeah, she can start.
The other one?
Yes.
The rendering or? Okay. And I'm just going to screen share it so people on Zoom can see it. Oh, here we go. Zoom is minimized. So I'm confused. Okay, that should be screen shared to folks at home as well.
Hey, good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. My name is Nadine Bailey. I'm with Mackey and Mackey out of Norwood, Massachusetts. I have with me tonight Jim Cranston, civil engineer from Boulder Engineering. Chris Buchanan, Walmart Director of Public Affairs and State and Local Government Relations, right there. And then landlord representative Kevin Vargas with Arcade Centers, LLC, back there. And then on Zoom, we have Ed Danza, architect with MMA Architects. Before you, I passed out a booklet. It's a memorandum in support of Walmart's application for site plan review approval. It'll be the presentation that I will refer to throughout the course of this permitting process before the commission. But for tonight, I'm only going to go over very briefly the existing site conditions and what it is that Walmart proposes to do. Walmart is one of several tenant stores at what is known as North Reading Plaza. Arcade North Reading LLC is the landlord, and Walmart has been renting or leasing the property since 1997. The property sits in the Highway Business District and also within the Main Street parking, trail crossing, adult use and floodplain overlay districts. Retail sales is a permitted use. in the highway business district, so the expansion that we're proposing meets that criteria. Just go over some key features of the site. A portion of the front parking lot. See if it says. Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a portion of the front parking lot right here is within the 100-year FEMA floodplain with a 100-year flood elevation of 73 feet. That's right in here. The north and northwest corner. Hold on, let me get my bearings. Northwest and southwest corners of the property here and here contain floodplain, not floodplain, wetlands, with the southwest corner containing a vernal pool. The north side of the site is partially within an electrical easement that services high voltage power lines. The current use is a one-story commercial building that sells general merchandise and retail services. Attached to the north end of the property currently is a garden center that sells garden center products, a variety of plants and supplies. Inside the building is a pharmacy, a photo lab, and a Subway restaurant. What Walmart is proposing is an expansion into a Walmart supercenter that will continue selling general merchandise and services, but now it'll include a full grocery. This will require a demolition of 2,223 square feet of the existing building and an addition of 61,018 square feet addition that will result in a total building area of 163,050 square feet plus or minus. This is coupled with offside roadway improvements that include pedestrian crossing with pedestrian crossing signals, a new sidewalk, pedestrian ramp at the northerly driveway intersection, signal timing adjustments, and traffic signal equipment upgrades replacement to comply with, bring it up to with current technology standards. Also, what Walmart is requesting is the use, outdoor use, 3 different locations totaling 16,650 square feet for the display, storage, and sales of garden center related products for the exterior. And one is on, I don't know, right here, right here,
in between the two vestibules.
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, this thing is shaking. It's okay, right there, right there.
And in the outer part.
Yeah, in the outer parking lot is where Walmart is requesting approval for those 3 outdoor general merchandise area, garden center related projects areas. The project meets all applicable North Reading zoning bylaw for bulk and dimension requirements as well as all parking requirements. And we seek site plan review for the outdoor storage pursuant to section 239 for the highway business district that requires outdoor storage of materials and supplies is prohibited unless specifically approved by the Community Planning Commission through site plan review. And also site plan review is required for this project because the construction will result in an addition that is over 2,000 square feet of gross floor area to an existing structure and will require the addition of 5 additional parking spaces. All approval requirements of site plan review have been satisfied pursuant to section 296. Again, I refer and submit for the record the memorandum in support of site plan review. I'd like to add that Finance Associates did a traffic impact assessment and they concluded that with the expansion, there'll be an additional 2,202 additional trips weekday. And then for the weekends, there'll be an additional 2,774 additional weekend trips as a result of the expansion. We have 22 waiver requests, which were submitted with the application, which I've been told you all have copies of, but there's 22 requests for waivers. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them with the assistance of Jim Cranston. So thank you for your time.
Can I just super quickly comment, just on the waivers, we were speaking of the waivers a little bit earlier. The waivers are, many of them are things that are existing conditions that Walmart is requesting to continue. So it's not necessarily waivers for new situations that are, you know, or a new condition that's coming onto the property.
Yeah.
A lot of the items are waivers that are related to the Main Street design guidelines, the Main Street overlay. And there are things like colors, you know, the design elements that are in our site plan review that were waived back when Walmart was first built because they weren't effective at the time in, you know, the 90s. So I just wanted to kind of put that in because 22 waivers sounds like a
Yeah,
lot,
it
but many of these are existing. So I just wanted to,
And
in my review of this, I just wanted to.
If
point
you go through the list, you'll see that a lot of it is existing. That we put in an explanation for the reason for the waivers, and a lot of it is because it's pre-existing non-conforming. Especially a lot with the landscaping, green space and whatnot.
I think if you look back in the history of that, you find that the front design of the whole Walmart was done by this planning board. We didn't like what they were gonna do, and we redesigned the whole thing, and we did with that.
And I wasn't. no,
Okay,
I've heard-
and
I've
we
heard
disagreed with the design, and when we redesigned the whole front of that, and they liked the results so much that they reused that design in other places, so we had a hand in what happened here, and so we care a lot about how this all works and how it looks. So we'll be asking questions on that.
Okay, thank you.
So I have, does anybody have any immediate questions? I have a couple.
Thanks, have a quick one on, so the Van Ness study, that is just a initial brush to get what you think the impact with trips will be for weekend, weekday, like what is basically the impact right now? What's the traffic right now for Walmart? And can you quantify that for Walmart versus the plaza itself? You know, you have a lot of different retailers there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have not just Walmart, but there's
Yeah,
other
just-
retailers.
I'd love to, maybe that's gonna be coming, but if it's just this assessment, does that assessment have any analysis on maybe it's a previous traffic study that was done with numbers? Just where are they getting that number from?
Sure, so Jim.
Van Ness is good, so.
Yeah. Jim Cranston with Bowler, so I'm not with Van Ness, I'm with Bowler, they're some consultant to us. We engaged them early on, in this project. To do an analysis, and we actually had a pre-app meeting with the DOT to talk to them about what's planned here, go over the trip projections. To get buy-in from them on what they're gonna wanna see here for the DOT permitting. So that study was done. The plaza as a whole, it was not just with Walmart in mind, it was the overall plaza, because it's all shared access, shared uses. And we have to go to MEPA. It's an ENF, we're under 3,000 trips, but we are over 2,000. This roadway network is actually pretty adequate. You have 2 travel lanes and 9 item. Quite honestly, when I was bringing this before my client Walmart, I thought we were gonna need a dedicated turn lane and have to do some significant improvements. And DOT looked at this and they said, nope, we don't need it. You have 2 driveways. Having that southerly driveway next to the former Joe Fish restaurant is a huge help. And because you have 2 dedicated lanes going northbound, the system is gonna work as is. So they're generally looking for some pedestrian improvements, some timing adjustments, and bringing some of the equipment up to the standard. So DOT is gonna be part of it.
It's District 4, right?
I don't think.
We are District 4.
Yeah, I think we just, the applicant that's in the former Joe Fish came through here, just a month ago or whatever, and they've been listed by there, and Kevin knows, obviously. It's front to footwear or whatever, but they're doing a retail store there. It's under construction right now. And if anything, we were thrilled to have them. They're already on Concord Street. We're thrilled to have them have that take over that location and are excited for their business. But most of the comments that came from this commission were regarding the traffic. It has a very misaligned northern curb cut on that. The curb, if you take a corner, brings you right into the parking lot. It doesn't bring you within the driving lane.
Are you talking about the southerly driveway or the signalized
It's
driveway?
north, either north, well, it's the one north of front.
Okay,
It's the,
the southerly driveway.
yeah, but it's the north curb cut.
Got it.
Of that driveway, yeah, the southern driveway. So that was always a concern, but the problem is we're dealing with people that are just fitting out a front store and not the bigger, the impact is just them right there, and what they're dealing with is all Walmarts and Marshalls, people coming through their, their store right in front of their store, impacting the safety crosswalks and things like that. So my question is, where in the narrative here, it mentions some improvements done to the traffic signaling to the north. What, if any, was it discussed with District 6 on the secondary entrance to the south as far as?
Signal as far as whether. it
Well, I'm
goes-
not looking for signaling, Mr. Chair, or that's what I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, did you guys look at it? Because it's very misaligned.
It's something we can bring up to the consultant. I don't remember them flagging anything
Okay.
significant in terms of improvements for that driveway.
Okay.
But obviously it is connected to the state roadway and the DOT does have say over that driveway, right? Because it's serving the center.
Right, and you guys, you've probably seen it too, in my project, even with Bowler, I'm doing one right now. Their DOT is like shrinking down a lot of the older curb cuts that were much wider, they're kind of reining them in a little bit. Much to the chagrin of some of the operators I'm dealing with that have trucks and whatever and want the ample turn, but they're kind of pinching it a little bit more. And in this one, it just looks, it'd be an opportunity to maybe right that curve and get it correct so that again, people aren't turning prematurely kind of into the run, what is now really the arcade, is the arcade entrance, get further back, just might make it more safe, orderly, pass through there. But overall, like, and my comments from going to that plaza all the time, it's with what's there now, it's pretty orderly. I think there's enough distance from all the stores that gives people time to kind of peter out and get to Main Street. And so that helps, I think, the traffic a lot versus if Main Street was just, 100 feet closer, it'd be a lot more congested, I think. So that
And having
distance,
those north-south cut throughs or.
yeah, exactly. That helps to spread people back out. There's a pause there. There's stop signs there. So that's a good traffic control, gets people to slow down before they continue on to the next, pass. So. But for me, it's all about the safety traffic as far as the elements of site plan review here. One other comment, Mr. Chair, would be on aesthetics. I know it was a long time ago, but I'm just curious. Walmart's undergoing a big change, with branding and stuff in these stores. Like, if there's a range of styles that we're getting, what is the style that it doesn't blow me away, but I'm looking at kind of a black and white, just call outs for materials, a lot of vinyl siding with a little pop of blue.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, what's the style that makes it easy for us to also just look up, there's 3 new styles they got. Sure. These are them, and that'll help me understand like what we're getting.
So we do have the architect on the call. I will tell you that we didn't make this a Walmart prototype because we knew the center had some history to it.
Yeah.
Because normally they wouldn't have those peak roofs, right?
Right.
So we maintain those. Ed Danza with MMA. I don't know if you're able to pull up the elevations. That was the third document they sent over. Ed, she's just gonna pull up the elevations.
Yep.
Well, to answer actually your question, Walmart only has one style. There is not 3 styles of building. We really try to go for one style throughout the whole country.
Is it just, that I'm seeing different, circa, because you see ones that have almost a brown, earth kind of tone, both in the block and in the fabric.
Yeah. Those are much older versions that they're trying to get away from. So as we remodel, we're trying to bring them up to more of this gray tone.
Yeah, and I did just look on the website and it said more, the way they describe it is more contemporary with glass and at least in the entranceway. Not that they don't have glass now, but more transom was it. So what color? I think you call out a color there. Yeah, it's vinyl siding. What color are we getting there in electric? Like, what is it?
This is called medium gray. It's what all the buildings are painted with the accent color blue at the main wall ID sign where the Walmart is, and also at the entrance to help with the site circulation so people know where to go, that this is the Walmart. There is no more. We did leave white for trim on this building, not only at the entrances, but I was going to go over with the at the new trellis for the outdoor garden center towards the right. But now all Walmarts are basically this medium gray with blue.
So that white trim would just go monochromatic with the gray.
Excuse me?
The white trim that you allude to on the gables and stuff, not the trellis necessarily, but would those go monochromatic with gray?
Yes, those will go. Yeah, correct.
Good. I kind of like, personally, I think that's better look in the white. Okay, yeah, and so is there a reference, Dan, if you've been, I assume, done multiple of these, that we would look up and see a recent new superstore in X town, wherever, it doesn't even have to be in Mass, that we can just look up and anybody that's on the Zoom call could benefit from checking out?
We just converted one in East Windsor. I don't know if there's any photographs, but that was definitely one that was almost the same as this without the expansion.
That Connecticut.
East Windsor, New Jersey. I'm sorry, New Jersey.
Jersey, okay.
Road trip.
Orange driving.
Yeah,
This picture's online, yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe Jim knows of a more current remodel project up in that area. All the remodels, they're all getting painted.
Sure.
The only time they don't get painted gray is if it's a precast aggregate. Then we leave them brown. Those they cannot paint those.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Leominster and Ware, those are two towns where remodel was done last year.
Where, New Hampshire?
Ware, Massachusetts.
Ware, Mass.
Yep.
Says on table 4 of the traffic study that Saturday traffic is going to increase, but it doesn't mention anything about Sundays.
Yeah, so I believe traffic studies typically pick a one target weekend day. They don't normally do two as the standard. I think Saturday, I'm guessing is probably
So
the
this year,
busiest.
assuming Saturday would be the same.
I think Sunday would be less impactful.
That's a fact, right?
but on the traffic, I'm a little concerned about the, under the really heavy traffic situations where, the queue going to the traffic light, is there gonna be modifications of the existing traffic light?
So there will be timing adjustments
Yeah.
made based on the additional trips. But the signalization, the only addition is the pedestrian crossing
Right,
across the street.
okay, well, my concern was that on a really busy, having been here for a long time, ever since I was here. When it gets really busy, if the queue gets too long there and they start trying to leave by the front store. And that's an uncontrolled intersection there. The possibility of it getting a little jammed up and having accidents and so forth.
I
So
believe right now it's signed for right turn only out of there. You can't turn left out of Run.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
At least the people that want to go north.
That's what the
Can't
sign,
use it,
that's what the
But yeah,
sign
but
says.
there's no, Jonathan, but there's no like curb pushing you, and
Yeah,
that, those are
yeah.
the things that I think
Yeah.
that could help. So there's no signaling, any of that stuff. It's just some curb improvement there. And, we've already, working with the other applicant, with Brunt, they committed to some things with speed bumps and everything. So you should get together with them. And I know Kevin is, so we're not like duplicating, you do this and you do it. It should be kind of all done at one time, I guess, now that, plants are open, whatever, because that's something that, it might be something you want to jump on a little sooner is the Brunt thing, and you can see how it works too, but just maybe implement that because we've kind of instructed them, that's what
Yeah,
we
they have
want.
speed,
Yeah, so they are in a different timeline than your site plan review. We approve them with conditions that you're gonna do this. And again, I don't think they're major things, they're just site construction kind of item, a curbing guy for a day, that kind of thing. So, Nice to see that implemented. But it would benefit
So you
guys.
see, yeah, so that main exit that goes to the light, that's gonna stay the same?
Yes,
That they deem that adequate to handle the increased load?
yes.
The site plan application says right in it that they're gonna be getting. Signal timing adjustments and traffic signal equipment head-end upgrades and replacements with current technology. So
I think
that's
that's
the difference between that statement and not getting. You're saying that
They're not adding any additional travel lanes to it. It's like the configuration of the driveway is not changing. It's the signal heads and.
So the signal is getting.
Correct.
Yes, so all that, so all the equipment at these intersections are gonna be upgraded.
Yep, and that came up during the NEPA scoping. That was not something that we were doing in the base case. It was just more about it. Gotta tell you, nice to be sent off and it makes sense. It's a pretty common request.
A few minutes ago, when you said we're getting signal upgrades, it came across as the equipment was not getting upgraded, so I'll just clarify.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, just clarifying.
So you did mention something about, they asked if there was gonna be a turn lane or not, and I don't know if you've got enough back and forth in the road, you know, the Andover. Put a turn lane in, Reading put a turn lane in, and we're kind of in the middle where we have 4 lanes. Where we've kind of talked about it a couple times about putting a turn lane, is that a preferred way of
For those roadway intersections,
Yes,
streets,
yeah, they're where they have,
so when you have.
instead of having a 4-lane road. Once you get into Reading, instead of having a 4-lane road, you now have 2 lanes with a turn lane in the middle.
Yeah, so I'm not a traffic consultant, but I know that, roadway intersections obviously are dealing with a lot more traffic, so a lot more movements.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're asking about going from 2 lanes to.
Well, there's been some discussion for us to look at matching that and everything, and I'm just wondering if that is a detriment or a plus for you.
I think it was determined by the consultant. I know that formal application will be presented to the DOT and it's
Yeah.
gonna be vetted through the NEPA process. But I believe that adding a dedicated turn lane and converting it is more detrimental because of the delays. Because now you have less traffic getting straight or going north.
Because when, during the, even currently in the really busy times there, that parking lot can be full and people are getting in and out any way they can. So that's my concern about an uncontrolled intersection on a heavy day or a difficult day. That it might be necessary to put signs leading up to that, to let them know it's only right hand turn, because right now it's only one where you get to the enter into the roadway. And by the time they've got
One traffic question. Time. It says the study goes back to December of 2024. As far as when traffic started being calculated. Joe Fish closed prior to that, and now we're adding Brunt. So the increased traffic hasn't existed for that part of the lot. Is that factored in at all as far as what they're gonna be pulling versus an empty Joe Fish restaurant?
So I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. I do know that they were aware that the Joe Fish would be converted to retail only.
Okay.
So we can find that out for you.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Just as far as factoring it in, and for my own clarity, the numbers you gave, the 2,000 weekdays and 2,700, I think was on
Yeah.
Saturdays. Is that an increase or is that now a total number expected?
That's additional.
That's additional to what, I guess? What
Okay, so-
percentage increase is that?
It's about a 25% increase, so the existing is 7,300 and proposed is about 10,000
Okay,
That's for weekend.
for that Saturday.
For the Saturday.
Saturday.
And that's in chart number 4, table number 4.
yes, Daniel.
I have requested a quote for peer review services, both for stormwater and for traffic, from GM2. I also will make sure GM2, rather than just reviewing what we've been given, if they feel there is additional information needed, they will certainly advise us. As soon as I get a quote for their services, we can transfer everything. Stormwater and consent. I would anticipate more questions and discussions about the traffic, because that is a
Yeah,
That's a big thing.
because I think, because you know, having been there and watched what happens during, you know, they just, to get in and out of that parking lot, just that one roadway. And having uncontrolled intersection, it's gonna become a problem. And again, Brunt's got speed bumps also. That's why Dave said you should look at that to see what they're doing, because those, people come around the corner not expecting those speed bumps, you know?
I think the empty parking lot aspect, the convenience of it, when that goes away with front being open, less people will be using it just as a cut through. I expect.
So it really depends on how backed up that queue was.
Yeah.
When the road was, you know, because, if they're backed all the way up to the parking lot, which they repaired. Even now, you're gonna have them looking for another way out.
I guess that's gonna depend on the new timing, how long you have agreed to exit the lot,
Right, right.
you know.
Do you know what that?
Yeah, that could, it's actually pretty responsive. Right. Not bad right now. If you pull up to it, you don't generally wait very long to get a green light.
I think what we do is, once we get, through the peer review, see how that goes, obviously it makes sense to get Vanessa here to go through the full thing and answer all your questions, because I won't pretend I know those answers,
Okay,
so if you're the right person to answer.
well, just understand that there is a concern there, you know. You know, we'd like to make sure it's as close to right as possible, so that when that day comes, it works relatively smoothly as opposed to people running into each other in the middle of the street, trying to get out.
Yep.
With a queue that goes all the way back to the parking lot. So, anybody else got any questions?
I do, Mr. Chair.
Go
If you can speak, the overall site plan, if you could pull that up, Danielle,
Yeah, I
just for
have
a second.
questions on that too, so go ahead. Yeah. We'll see if you can.
Do you want me to give you like just a quick high level summary of the other stuff with the site, or are you generally comfortable when you've seen it?
I have a couple specific questions, and he does too, and then maybe just a quick overview again.
Just to share.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you, Danielle. So my question was, so the garden center, you talked about relocating to the back or the front portion of the parking lot. So, I don't see anywhere where that could be highlighted on this. You had the pointer.
It's on the,
Is it on a different screen?
So it is on the plans that were submitted.
In this area.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I
I
was
can
gonna
go
get the
over that.
regular.
Yeah, I'm just curious, because like, how does that all work?
So-
If it's completely separated from the store and,
So the
That was my exact question.
existing store has a defined garden center on the north side.
How big
That's
is that?
going away.
But how big is that right now? So you're gonna have 16,000, but what's now? Is it in there?
Ed, do you know how big the existing garden center is, ballpark?
Just for context.
So the garden center is going away. They will be doing seasonal merchandise outside, so. It's on the front sidewalk between the two vestibules, so this is the existing garden center up top here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to find that
just
section?
go down one.
You can just go back up. And just go up a little more, one more.
Right there.
Yeah, so this is the existing garden center right here. It's pretty big. Do you know it? No?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm gonna look that up right now. I got the computer open. Hold on.
And there's also a portion that is interior to the store, I believe, in here.
Yeah, there's a little.
So it's quite big. Right now, there's some trade-offs, right? And I don't know if you saw this, and this is part of what I want to go over. The site today does online pickup, online order fulfillment. That's going to continue. That's going to be dedicated to the north side of the proposed development. So you really can't have online pickup in garden center and same spot. It didn't work. So Walmart made a decision. Let's stick with the online pickup at the north, and then we'll just do seasonal stuff outside where we can. So we knew that we needed your approval to do the outside storage which is why we showed it on the defined site plan, along the front sidewalk and then in the remote area out front of the park. I'm sure they do that today now in the parking lot at times. So they would continue to do that. I mean, that's a pretty common feature at a Walmart where it's seasonal related.
If it keeps them all north, I think that's smart too. You know, that the transaction all happens kind of on the north access.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to go for it on,
Makes a lot of
over
sense.
the actual site plan, so if you just scroll down. Keep going, sorry,
Well, it's okay, you're not looking on, just trying to.
keep going. Okay, so go up to the overall plans on the overall plan, go up one more. Yep.
Okay, there you go.
So it's defined here. So this is an area here. There's a rectangle underneath this awning. And then there's an area up here under the trellis. The fire department, during the pre-app meeting, put a specific request in to see the seasonal sales area. That anything outdoor sales in the front of the building, we wanted sprinkled. So that is why this trellis system is implemented. It's not a normal thing. We took it back to Walmart and the architect and they said, all right, it's something the town wants. So this trellis system is there to help support that. Probably a dry system. You're not gonna keep water in there, obviously in the winter. And then this area here in the outer parking lot, there's a bold outline. That's 12,000 square feet. Yeah, that's 12,000.
So those parking spots would go away and they would be, that would be a garden center seasonal.
Right, it's not all the time.
Then how would
So
they?
it's just gonna be tent or?
Yeah.
No, I think they
Or
just,
hardscape
I
or.
think they put like storage shelving and, you know, sometimes they'll put like kayaks or bikes and block them up, chain them up together. Things like that.
It's just
But not covered.
that's why.
It's not covered in
They're not covered at all, huh?
I've never seen bicycles been sitting out in the rain.
Yeah, it seems a little odd.
It's something that they wanted to ask for so that they have the right to do it after they, you know, if we get through this process and get the approvals.
I think the same thing I was thinking is that, yeah.
Would they be parking spots in the winter? And then it would just
Right.
be an area to stage stuff in the summer?
Right, usually it's probably like April to October, where they usually like
Okay.
the season. I don't think we're asking for like locked in dates, but that's my understanding.
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture it.
You're gonna need snow storage in the winter, so I have to go up with the snow. Probably where the snow is now.
Sheds and
For
stuff
sale.
potentially.
Yeah, so.
I don't
so
know, if they sell
Home
sheds.
Depot style.
Yeah, it's my picture in my head, it's like Home Depot, you see all the sheds and I thought it's that's.
I don't know if they sell sheds.
I'll be in a few minutes. I'll go.
Oh, perfect.
I'm Greg Holm, the market manager, otherwise known as the district manager
Okay.
of this area of Massachusetts with regard to this facility as well. In terms of merchandising outside, it'd be similar to what you'd be seeing today outside with pallet goods and mulch and dirt. So the idea of bikes and those kind of things, it wouldn't be a merchandised area with things that you wouldn't expect. It would be exactly what we're doing outside today. Just it would be a shifted location of the park.
So it's gonna be like a soil and
Correct.
mulch and.
Correct, that's all it would be.
And all those kind of things.
Yep.
But no wheelbarrows or anything like
Correct,
that.
we are not going to rust the chains on children's bicycles.
Was that a bad example?
See why I was a little concerned.
Yes, I saw your.
And I think he just saw the same thing, that this doesn't sound quite right, so we need a little clarification here.
I also have another question. So that area, is it just a chain link?
Typically, what we utilize is for the sake of aesthetics, but also for the sake of demarcation of the space, is like wood timbers, cinder block, something that looks like, you know, a landscaping component to temporarily block off, knowing it's not a permanent space. So we wouldn't install anything that would be permanent for the ballers or anything like that, because it truly would be just a seasonal space like we do currently for the summer. For instance, I think we just got our first load in that facility of mulch on the side of the building. So usually about this time frame, and we try to exit right after the 4th of July, typically. So it'll be temporary. In some cases, what we use is if we really need something to stand out more visually for the sake of traffic, is we will purchase additional bright colored cones and have rope and things, and that would be how we do it.
So basically what you did is when you put that pickup section in the north corner of the building, you needed another space for it. And so you decided to use that outdoor space there as well as the under the front there, so.
Correct, because there'll be some goods, like, patio chairs and things like that, that we don't want to stage out in the weather.
So I was trying, the whole thing just clicked, I was just trying to put together what it was you were trying to do, so. So, go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry. So my question now is, if you guys are granted that access to that space, is there anything else that Arcade Centers could potentially do retail with that same space? Like, would that encroach on any future idea of, I guess, a small, like kiosk type stations with, I don't know,
Deep power and everything.
Bank
I don't think so.
ATMs or
well,
that kind of thing.
right, stuff like that,
parking
like, so
lot
with that, like,
But you need power, so.
Yeah.
If you do that, so.
because if we grant that, like, if that space is dedicated for that, then is the town or Arcade Centers, are we losing out, like, any potential other use of that land with other businesses or other commercial,
Well, I think.
development for like, for things that don't really require a lot of,
I think part of the answer though is that, that storage of the material there and the pickup and delivery from that location. That location has to have access to facilities, and those facilities are all in the main building. So it's not gonna be, as far as I can tell, we're just gonna have a person out there that directs the loading and unloading of biomulch and soils and the things that they use for the gardens, and that's about it.
Mr. Chair.
So one thing I just want to add, there's a national grid power easement that traverses through the site, so we can't put a structure in that easement, so part of that outdoor area, half of it is in that easement area, so it's kind of already a wash in terms of future potential out there for a building for another use.
I'll double down on Jim's comment. The whole site's on septic.
Just say your name,
So
please.
we're maxed out on, I apologize, I'm Kevin Vargas from RK Centers.
It's just that the machine can't see you, so. Thank you.
We're maxed out on capacity with our septic system, so we have no intention of going any further with the site. We've looked at it and possibly doing wastewater. It's not feasible here.
Yeah, that was a question I was gonna ask you. Do you plan on doing any upgrades on that? Because I know you've had a few issues.
So I can up answer that. So
Okay,
I don't know if you're familiar with the existing center, but it's obviously on conventional septic. All of the fields are to the north and to the west of the store. In order to construct this expansion, a pretty significant disposal system
on the north
field
side.
on the north side has to get moved.
Yeah.
And we constructed, a whole new system, dosing, the whole 9 yards per the DEP requirements to the west. We've already done some soils testing to confirm the feasibility there. And then as part of that, we're gonna upgrade all of the piping that serves the Walmart and all of center flows in front of Walmart, so new tanks, new pump chamber. Has to meet the current standards. We do need
Right.
permits from the DEP. And that's part of what we're gonna have to go through for this project.
We certainly wish we could provide you with sewer. We're working on that.
We looked into that and so you're looking at it, but it's not a slam dunk, so.
Yeah, I know.
I assume it's losing the restaurant to retail helps a little bit.
Yes, yeah,
It helped us add the grocery to the store.
Okay.
yeah.
Is there, just as a callback, if I may, last year we had a bunch of meetings on propane. Where's that going now? Is that?
Yeah,
Storage, the propane storage.
The propane storage tanks,
Yeah.
they
yeah.
were in the, I believe they ended
It's
up in
in
the
that
garden
same,
center, right?
it's in
Yeah.
that same north front corner that you were talking about,
Yeah.
having the pickup happen. There's a propane, station there.
It's just a
New
cage
vinyl, yeah.
for, there's no tanks, like fillable tank, it's just a cage, but.
I can sort of speak to that. I was the one that interviewed you last year for that.
Okay, please say your name.
Yeah, Edward Hartline. I'm one of the managers of the store.
Thank
What we were given then was to keep it inside of the garden center gate. If that goes away, I know the concern there was just it getting struck, so. If we would just put it either out of the way, out of the bollard, whatever it would be, but concern over there was mostly just egress, keeping it away from exits and entrances underneath the awning and that sort of thing, but. It's a relatively easy fix. Most stores just have self-serve propane. You talk to the vendor about things like that, if that's easier. But I know that it was pretty good last year once we kind of got the ball rolling.
If you're gonna change the location of that, you need to make sure that shows up on the plan.
Okay.
And that you, and that we provide that for to the fire department for their approval.
Okay.
The chairperson. In regards to this, storing product, seasonal product out in the parking lot, I looked it up online, there's a few pictures of Walmarts that have that now, and I see forklifts out in the parking lot moving things around. Is that gonna be part of this? Are we gonna have forklifts out there, and the noise that comes with them and all that stuff, how does that factor?
Only during staging and movement times, so we don't maintain forklifts in terms of parking spaces, they maintain in their existing location behind the building. But yeah, anything exterior is done historically with motorized forklift or electric pallet jack.
Okay, I think we got some of the primary things we're concerned about. Did you have anything else you wanted to just review really?
So we talked about, I was gonna mention that we did need to relocate the septic system. We did coordinate with DEP early on to get their buy-in on what we could do here at the center to make sure it's gonna be feasible. The stormwater, obviously with the new parking lot to the north, we're gonna be putting in some underground detention, adding treatment, complying with the DEP stormwater standards and making sure the runoff rates are not increased between the 2 to 100-year storms.
Yep, on standard procedure.
Right. We're also adding some stormwater treatment units to the southerly area where that loading dock is getting rebuilt on the south side, which is obviously an upgrade from what's out there now. And then just with landscaping, there's 9 trees, 58 shrubs, and about 60 ornamental grasses that are throughout the site that are going to be added.
Yeah,
Going to be
good
enhanced.
questions about. Are you gonna have any loading docks on the north side? In other words, are you gonna bring all your groceries into the south side and go all the way through the store to the north side?
So I can address, I don't know if you can zoom out just to show like the whole building. So today, all of the loading operations occur on the south. All the trucks come in at the signal and circumnavigate to the south, and everybody loads and comes in and out this way. So it's under this proposed plan, we are continuing with the southerly dock. There's 2 docks here. There's a small little bump out, that's that shaded area. That would be for the general merchandise side, which is going to be this side of the store. For operational reasons, adding a second dock is just way more efficient, and it reduces the back and forth internal to the store. So one of the improvements that we're making, and this came up during the pre-app, there's no access behind the store now, so this is kind of a twofold. It's going to be able to serve as emergency vehicle access at the back of the store, but also now trucks can navigate to the north. This truck spin is here to get trucks into this loading area and then back to the south.
Is there enough room to turn the truck around down there?
Yes. Getting trucks in and out here, just with the lot geometry and the
Right.
building,
Right,
they would eat up like
and that
everything.
would not help your traffic situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna have a lot more truck, because in order to keep the groceries fresh, you're gonna have a lot of trips. So that's gonna necessitate a relatively easy and straightforward access. Okay, please go on then.
Yes, and then just one other thing to add, we do have Concom jurisdictional impacts, we have gone before them. That's also going out to peer review, so we're kind of waiting for that to go through, where we have to do a tree survey. For them, we're impacting 800 square feet of wetlands to the south. I don't know if you're familiar with the site, but that whole back area, the development is basically backed up against the wetland. So 800 square feet of impacts, we're doing 1,200 square feet of mitigation on the south side here to offset that.
Yeah.
So it's just another step that we have to go through as part of the application process.
They're actually adding more wetland in than what's being impacted, right?
Correct.
You have to do 1.5 times.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
Yep.
All right, anybody else have any questions?
Just want to confirm, because I think I might have missed it, the front area, the kind of grass area that's where the leach field is, that's septic system or? in the very
So-
front to the east?
No, so this is
What is
This is
that?
all grass, this is actually floodplain. It's pretty wet all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a natural grassed area.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the history is. I'm thinking maybe some of
Have
it
you
has to do
considered
with.
putting any trees in it though? It just seemed like it would be more appealing when you look into the plaza. I mean, maybe what you're proposing, which doesn't seem like it's there now, might improve it, but seems like a line just along the road there would, you know, just look a little bit nicer. You look into that wide.
But if you have a location that stays wet like that all the time, and put trees in the roots or what?
Well, I mean, birch, there's some ones that like.
Willow, yeah.
Yeah, but not a willow.
Well, they'll drink the
I'm
water.
not the arborist, but I'm sure there's something you can put in there.
They will definitely
Plus,
drink the water.
I know
You
what
could
you're saying,
bed
it's
you could bed it
static.
up a little bit too, just that
So, well, let
section.
me just, a basic question, do you plan on doing any, beautification of this front area here? I know
It's
it's,
kind of nice.
I know, but it's, I think grass is the best thing you could do there.
So we did not plan any landscaping in there, being it is grass. The one limitation, again, we haven't pursued it, but with that easement, I'm not sure what's allowed in that easement. We already filed with them for this current application with the improvements up here, right, where this whole parking lot is in their easement. Grades are not changing much in the easement area. So I'm not sure what we could do for trees.
Well, basically, it occurs to me that the conditions there are gonna be tough for you all the time, and that grass is the simplest thing, probably the least amount of pushback.
That was kind of the why, but yeah.
That's practicality. Okay, anybody else have any questions? So then I'm gonna open it up to the public, what public we have, if they have any questions. And please direct them to the chair. Does anybody have any questions? All company people again, so. I'm sure you have questions for the company, but not.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, yeah. All right, yes,
If I could, I'm sorry, just one more thing. So you guys are adding additional trucking, coming in and out because of groceries and stuff like that. Is that number been calculated in your other?
traffic study.
Yeah, is that number being calculated in and what specifically, like what timeframes is it that additional stuff coming in and out? And the only reason why I ask is we have a post office next door. And 28 is just, there's a lot of hard trucking on 28, and I'm just curious
Let
if
me
this.
elaborate on that too. On the south side of the building, there's housing, there's neighborhood on the south side behind the building right there. So, we've had numerous calls and complaints about the dumpster being picked up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And 7 o'clock is as early as you can do it, so, and having trucks sitting there idling also has been an issue on that particular location. So I would look into that and be careful about allowing the trucks to sit there and idle. In the wintertime, they're gonna wanna do that. But if they're hauling groceries, you wanna get them right back in the back there and get them out of that site right there without, that, pushing those 5-minute idle rule, but in the middle of the winter, that just turn it up a little bit and it'll idle all night, all day if you need to, so. That needs to be, you need to take that into account, because I would think when all the work gets out public here, we're gonna have people from that neighborhood who are gonna show up. And they're gonna tell you about all those things I just said, so we'll be ready for that, okay?
The one benefit to the site is there is a decent vegetated buffer there that's staying, so luckily we're not. Clear cutting.
Doesn't stop those diesel truck motors.
No, I get that, but it helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So
But there will be an issue, so look and make sure you consider it.
to answer your question, the traffic study doesn't typically pick out what types of vehicles. So it does not, I don't know that it adds in the truck stuff, but it's
Well, I
something.
mean,
we can-
like, what would the increase of, like, so what you have now coming in and out, what would the increase be?
So I don't know that answer offhand. I don't know if anybody else. does.
So it's essentially, we already receiving the trucks, they'll be fuller loaded, so because of the volume of the store, what they carry, it's still coming from a distribution center in Lewiston, Maine, as well as a distribution center in Raymond, New Hampshire.
Right.
So the same two distribution centers will still be feeding to the store, but rather than sending a tractor trailer that maybe has 10 pallets worth of merchandise in there that's gonna be offloaded, it might be 25 pallets. So the same amount of trucks with regard to those, we'll be adding one additional daily delivery, which will encompass produce,
Fresh
meat,
produce.
and that refrigerated merchandise. So really only one additional trailer
okay.
per day.
I knew that was.
And that's probably because you have grocery today, but it's very, very limited.
Correct.
So you're already getting the grocery truck, but it's not full.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, because you have added some grocery items to that store, so.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
I have one little observation, just a clerical thing. Table 5, trip distribution summary. This is where it says Route 62 Main Street North and Route 62 Main Street South. That's actually 28. 62 is a very small one. It just, my OCD is like. Just to make sure we're talking about the same road, that's all.
We take advantage of those CDs. All right, so no questions, so, continue this obviously.
When would you like to come back? I can read off the next upcoming meeting dates. April 7th, your next meeting.
I'm sorry, does the public get an opportunity to speak?
Oh, yes, there's someone from the public on the Zoom who'd like to.
Oh, okay.
Great, thank you.
Please go ahead.
All right, so just quick question, parking, and I apologize, I was on about a half hour late from the start, so if this was already addressed. We're adding some parking lot area, taking up green space for that. Sorry, let me back up. Brandon Schrenker, 35 Amy Street in North Reading. Just questioning the need for that. What I mean by that is, has an actual parking study been done? I understand zoning requirements that are based on square footage areas or any other metrics like that, but as a resident, as someone who's been there in December at the peak times, the lot is never full. And so is it really necessary to build more impervious surface at these locations?
I'm so sorry, but Mr. Schreiber, can I just confirm your address? It was 35.
Eames, EAMES.
So I can help answer that. So the site today has 849 spaces. And then when you look at that from a ratio perspective, the town zoning requires a 3.33 ratio, meaning 3.33 spaces per 1,000 square feet of building. So the site today has a 5.4 ratio, which is a lot higher than what zoning requires. Because we're expanding our building, we're now going to need more spaces than are out there now. So the proposed plan has 894 with a 4.1 ratio. So if the site is overparked today, it's probably a valid comment, but we are reducing the amount of additional spaces compared to the size of the building by quite a bit. So I feel like we have the parking we need, and I don't think it's going to be as overparked as what you're seeing out there now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean overparked, I mean underparked.
Oh, underparked. So
Yeah, so I'm like I said,
I'm sorry.
I work for Walker Consultants. I work for a parking consulting company. Like I said, I've been out there in peak times, and it's in my opinion, it's a vastly underparked supply. So I'm just questioning the need for more parking when I think it's already there, unless has a parking study been done, not just based on zoning requirements, but based on actual conditions, like a ULI type based analysis.
So we have not counted parking at this site. Typically, we would count parking if we were seeking a parking variance. Know that Walmart as a company, they really want a 4.0 minimum for a store to be successful. So knowing we have a 4.1 here for the overall center, just from a numbers perspective, the numbers make sense to me.
There will also be some additional parking from by down by the run there, because without having a restaurant there, they won't do as much uses of the parking area down there, so.
And there's also gonna be the grocery aspect now, drawing more people to the store. So there'll be.
Yeah, I would just ask that the planning board take that into consideration. Something we pride ourselves with is looking at the actual parking need versus a zoning requirement or otherwise. And like I said, my personal experience is that particularly as you go east, those parking spaces are not used. I understand it's a lower level of service. It's not ideal to park out there, but go out there today and see how many things are parked out there. It's predominantly large trucks that are parking there overnight for storage or whatever. And I understand the peak condition is between, a couple weeks before December 25th. The parking is not used. So it's in the best interest to me of the developer to not develop more parking. And it's in the best interest of the town to not let there be more impervious pavement at this location. So I just ask that that's considered by the board.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This could be a question for the RK folks. What percentage of the current lot is allocated to Walmart versus the rest of the retail stores? As far as that ratio that he's talking about, is the ratio based on that entire lot, the number of spaces, or is that allocated to some other stores? Like what percentage does Marshalls have? And
I do not know the specific breakdowns. I think the 533 number that Jim gave is based off, the gross square footage of all the buildings. Collaborated. There's no specific delineation to that at the moment, unless there's a.
I do have some numbers, and this is represented in the tables on the plan. So, under the existing condition in the Walmart premise, there's 573 spaces. And then total center is 849, so. I'm not good at math in my head.
So there's another 300 plus that are dedicated to the remainder of the retail stores.
Exactly.
Okay. And your plan is only impacting your 500 and whatever, there'll still be an additional.
Right.
Yeah.
So for Walmart, so then under the proposed condition, Walmart would have 622. So Walmart's only getting 49 extra spaces. That's not a lot of additional parking considering the size of the expansion.
Okay.
So those are the real numbers on the one.
Just in terms of the under parking, over parking aspect of things.
Yeah.
Some of that is the Dollar Tree is open sometimes and and whatnot.
Thank you, John.
Just curious.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Do you see anything, Daniel? I can't believe it.
Don't see anyone else's hand up on the Zoom.
We're not gonna close this public hearing. It's gonna remain open, so there'll be another more meetings as we work our way through this. Okay, then we were working on continuation.
Next meeting date would be April 7th. After that, April 21st. Then we are not meeting on May 5th because it's the town election. So our meeting after April 21st would be May 19th. And then June 2nd. So depending on how much time you need and when you want to come back in, you can continue that. Okay, is there anyone else who's not here on April 21st? Okay.
I wish I could tell you. My new job has,
Okay. So
I don't know, more than 2 weeks out usually.
okay, that's fine.
And if I can zoom in, I certainly will if I need to.
We don't have a big parking lot from the landing, so.
Right.
Plenty of room.
We can
I don't
also,
trust helicopters, so.
if we continued it to a sooner date and you needed more time, or you wanted to wait for the peer review and it wasn't ready, we could always then continue it again, but it.
I think we'd want to have the peer review
Okay.
underway before we come back again. Makes sense.
Probably take. Usually takes them about 2 to 3 weeks. I don't have the quote yet, so I don't totally know what their timing is.
We continue to the 21st, and if we have to extend it, we extend it.
Is that
Throw it
what
out
you'd
there.
like to do? You could then listen to the hearing and read the minutes and look at the materials and still participate, but
Just putting it out there in case
Okay.
other people. wanna-
if it looks like quorum might be an issue, or if two members might be missing, we could then continue it again if you wanted to, but in the
We'll hold
meantime.
up on Monday.
Okay, and you can still participate in the vote if you review the materials from that one meeting, you just can't miss another meeting, so, just to keep that. In order to be able to. Okay, if you wanna then, we have a motion to continue.
Give me a date.
Want to make sure everybody's all set?
Oh,
I think, yeah, it just,
Sense a little hesitation. Again, if you pick a day and then you get close to it, it's not gonna work out. you can-
Peer review, I think it's still aggressive with the peer review, but I think let's start there and.
sure. It's a good idea.
I think before we actually continue the hearing, which we should do in a moment, but there was also a request from the applicant for a withdrawal without prejudice for the floodplain special permit. There was a review and a
yes,
suggestion memo. They actually don't need a floodplain special permit. It will be reviewed by the Conservation Commission, not as a special permit, but as part of the.
Okay, we need to vote for that, or?
You should, but there is a motion for that, and you
I've
should
got
vote
that.
that,
Okay, all right.
and then we can continue those.
Yeah, we understand what that is, so that's fine, so. You are,
Want the motion?
yeah, no, let's finish.
Well, if we continue the hearing, we've opened both. So my recommendation would be withdraw that one and then continue the hearing for the site
Okay,
plan
all right.
review.
Because I thought we continue hearing, then withdraw again.
Well, the hearing that we're kind of doing both hearings at the same time,
All right,
so.
okay. Please, the motion to withdraw.
I move that the CPC votes to grant the applicant's request to withdraw without prejudice the floodplain special permit application for 72 Main Street.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed. Let the record show 5 is for, in favor, no opposed. Thank you, okay. We have a date,
April 21st, and the time would be 7:30.
Okay, I move, you ready for that?
go ahead.
I move that the CPC vote to continue the public hearing for the application at 72 Main Street, Walmart expansion, including the site, or not including. No longer including, right?
Right, no more floodplain stuff.
Forget what I said. And then so move it to April 21st, 7:30 PM, excluding the site plan special permit that was just withdrawn.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5 in favor, no opposed, and you are extended until the 21st. Okay,
Thank you.
and thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm kind of excited to see this all work out, so.
Hey, listen, I bought an avocado for 25 cents in that store. I was pretty excited about it.
25 cents.
Really cheap.
I don't know what it
What
was.
color was it?
With plastic.
There's a scratch of that avocado.
The decoration.
It fell off the shelf.
In order to vote on the project, you have to be present here. All of these are this one, as long as you review the materials.
That's true. But,
I know you do it right.
All right.
I just wanted, like, since it looks like. all
Yeah,
that-
I told Jeff. I was gonna do it as fast as I
All right,
can. I'm not doing it very.
No, it's all right, Warren. Do your thing. It's okay. It's still fine. We're
All
okay.
right, okay, next is 17R, Shore Road. Floodplain special permit application.
On my,
Yes, please.
where should I sit? There.
Would you like to use the laptop? Or-
Sure.
Okay, then you can actually come right up here once I just pull it up.
It's the top two. No, sorry. That one?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, actually, that was probably the.
Okay.
So did you get the drawings? Thank you.
So they're both here. Do you want to screen share one of them to start? Or
Yeah, that was fine.
this one? Okay,
That might be the one if you want.
great. Then let me just share. Okay, I think that's all set. We're just gonna do these things and then come and feel free to.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Adam Ritchie. I am the homeowner at 17R Shore Road. I've lived there for 18 years. I plan on living here the rest of my life. It's a very cool spot in Martin's Pond. I sincerely apologize. I did not do a traffic study in case you need that. But I'm here to present my project and answer any questions you have.
Just wanted to remove that language, but make it worse.
So just to clarify, you guys are primarily interested in flood storage, correct?
Yep.
Okay, great. So in right here, I'm going to draw my existing foundation. I'm going to be tearing my house down, rebuilding, but I'm going to keep my existing foundation, which is this footprint right here. Did everybody get that?
Yep.
Just a side note, I am leaving my existing deck. I'm not touching it. Portion's freestanding. So I'll start with the existing house. It's an existing foundation. As per the new building code that Massachusetts adopted last year, I'm actually going to be infilling, I'm going to be backfilling my entire foundation. I was actually happy they came out with that code because it's gross and it gave me the idea to fill it in. And I'm going to be doing a slab on grade already designed by my engineer on this existing foundation, plus I'm going to extend it a little bit, which is just right over here, just that little spot there. So the existing and this small new spot will all be slab on grade. This green area, I'm going to be giving back some flood storage. Because currently it is a foundation, but I'm going to take that out and put a screen porch in that location so flood waters can come underneath should they ever. And that this will more than compensate for the flood storage that I am taking away from over here. And now that's this rectangle here, which is a new garage. In the garage doors, there will be 8 flood openings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't need that many, but I needed to make it look symmetrical, so I added more. Because this is what I do at design houses. So even though we are taking, well, technically we're taking away some flood storage here, but we're kind of giving it back because of these flood openings here. This project will result in net additional flood storage than I currently have now. Not by a ton, but actually, if you consider that was the case before I even put the flood openings in the garage. We were getting slightly net more flood storage, but then once we put those, that was to satisfy conservation. Then once I learned the new building code, I realized I needed flood openings in the doors. I'm not trying to take back anything. I like the idea of opening up my space. So there's significant net additional flood storage. That's most of the comments about floodwaters. You have any questions? You want to explain something else?
Plug, on the doors. What the openings there,
Yeah.
how does that work?
So. Which I have one, right? It's. Picture a window and it's got, actually, picture a cat door.
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah. And it's got a hinge at the top. And the flood water comes up, it pushes the gate open. And then the water can come back and forth. But I believe there's actually, I've actually never installed these before, but I believe there's actually there's the ability for water flow back and forth.
So these are on the doors that are gonna open and close, so when the doors are closed, if water gets in the garage, you can have it.
Correct. The Massachusetts State Code is that the bottom of these flood openings need to be a maximum of 12 inches off the surface. I think the stiles in the garage door are 6 inches, and the flood will start after that, so.
So question, is, if I'm reading right, so is FFB 81, 86 of the slab, the new slab? Is that what you're doing? Like, what is your?
Yes,
Okay,
you're correct.
and that, so is that top of wall right now? Since you're basically gonna keep the foundation, are you just basically making the slab with top of wall right now?
No, actually, so. My existing foundation. Is going to be the bottom of the slab. And
Okay.
I'm
so
gonna
you're-
pour 12 inches on top of
You're
that.
right, no, we're gonna punch it down. So,
Exactly, yeah, that's
okay, yeah,
Exactly.
okay, I got you. Right, so it's much, your top of wall's lower than right now, like you said, it's at 80, 86, if you will, like, because you just said you're going 81, 86.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So you're elevating it, that which is fine. Cool property,
Thanks, I think so,
beautiful place to live,
yeah.
you know. A
Whatever.
little tight probably with the snow this winter, right, with the plowing of those.
It was an expensive winter.
Yeah. It just gets driving around those roads in Warren, you know.
My neighbors and I all chip
Plowing.
in.
I have a log cat at my house, so.
I do now too.
Yes, right, that's right, that's right. You got
Proud
one
owner.
from Dana. You got one from Dana.
What snow?
What's no, no.
It's such a tricky, it's in general, because no one knows, she's been here longer, these applications that come with, whether they're sometimes ZBA or whatever, just on around the pond are so tricky, you know? It's such a unique resource, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules when it comes to
Yeah.
the water, so. You need to really do your research and make sure you met all the requirements, so.
I've learned,
So you're a builder though?
yes.
Yeah, so you really know, that's the good thing, you really,
I'm not gonna lie and tell you that I've dealt with this much more before.
well, this is tricky stuff,
But
really,
luckily
but.
for you, we have.
Yeah.
We don't often get floodplain special permits and we
Not
don't
all.
get them much for single family houses either. It's pretty unusual.
We used to, we had more than a few, especially when they built all those houses down the end.
Some commercial properties, but not a ton of houses, not a house since I've been here. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, they're rare.
I've been around for a while, but.
Happy to be the first.
Do your neighbors have any input, like, whether, we can ask also if they're on this call, but just in general, have you had conversations with them on
Yeah.
what you're doing and what's their,
Nobody cares.
yeah?
Well, now this has been reviewed by conservation already?
It has, they've issued an order of conditions and
They
there's.
have issued a
They
order.
have, yeah. There's a copy.
Anything that's unusual in Lydia's on the order conditions, or is it just the standard builder stuff?
I got a list of plants in the bottom right hand corner that I can choose from.
Yeah.
So there is some restoration or,
Well, I'm tearing down a maple tree, removing a maple tree,
okay,
so I'm gonna make up for that. 'Cause I'm-
what's the no, is it the green area or that was your screen porch, but you had, and you might have.
The green area is giving back.
That's what I mean.
For storage.
Is there any requirement, plant wise, like vegetation wise, on the giving back? Are you supposed to do?
No, the plan. Actually,
It's not like wetlands, you know, you're wetland planning, but you know, what's the requirement, you know, when you're kind of giving back?
If you do it, if you make floodplain, you gotta return it by 1.5.
It's a one and yeah, that's our
Yeah.
local bylaw.
But I mean, just vegetation wise, is there anything? that-
I think they just have to be native
Native,
protected
yeah, just
okay.
species
Yeah.
that are
Okay.
given by conservation commission.
yeah, they wanted a couple plants right here. For. I think they're requiring me to put some plantings in here because I was taking the tree. But they also thought it was a good idea because, I mean, I'm not changing my driveway, I have running water coming down here, and they thought it'd be nice to have it absorb right here instead of going to the pond, so. Have it play. It might even look nice.
And do you have any invasive, any requirements to remove anything invasive, or is anything invasive found when they, did the review?
No,
Every now and then that pond gets attacked by it, but then they go out and they treat it.
Yeah, I know, I just, everyone does their part, all the property
Yes.
owners, you know, getting rid of anything that pops up.
Yeah, well, they've actually had to, had to get a boat out there and go out there and seed the whole thing with, kill some of the algae, the invasive algae, and so. A couple of times, I've seen that happen. All right, any other questions? We're all set to.
I have no other questions. I took the part of the bylaw that says what the standards are for issuance of the floodplain special permit, and I put them into the memo. To my review, it looked as though everything had been addressed.
Yeah.
I did put a draft conditional approval there if you're ready to vote on it. Just considering it's such a small project to just.
Well, I don't have any more questions on myself. You are in place. I think we're good to go. Looks like you did your homework, so.
I hire the right people.
We did a lot of work.
There's a lot of work, yeah,
In our office in the building department for like a year, right?
year and a half,
A year and a half.
yeah,
We're gonna help you on your way, so we'll take this to the vote right now, okay?
thank you, appreciate it.
John, what have you got?
I've got I move that the CBC vote to approve this floodplain special permit for the property located at 17 R Shore Road in accordance with the plans and materials submitted and subject to the conditional approval dated March 17th, 2026.
I have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show 5 in favor, no opposed. You are all set.
Congratulations,
I'll get
thank you guys very much.
I'll get your decision filed tomorrow,
Okay.
and then, I'll send you a copy. I think there is a bill here. I'll check.
Is there anything I need to do with it? Just
You
give
can
it to-
record it at the registry of deeds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll check on the appeal period, and then, it's a special permit,
You
so
gotta
yeah.
record you gotta record your conservation at registry of deeds too.
Right, exactly, so I can do all shot.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have their appeal period too, so I'll look at the timing of those, but you'll want to get a copy from the town clerk's office at the end of the 21 days and report.
And when you're all done, don't forget when you're all done, to get a engineer or somebody, bring it back to conservation and get them to release that. Because that happens, they get so wrapped up in getting the project done, then when they go to sell it, they find out there's an outstanding.
No certificate of compliance.
Yeah, no certificate of compliance and everything, so.
Actually, they, when I went through my conservation meetings, we found something that was not settled from the previous owner.
With all-
Over 20 years ago.
Now you hear what my advice is, what it is.
Exactly, yeah, so I'll have
I
3.
know how this
deeds
all
to
works.
report. Awesome,
All right, thanks.
thank you all very much.
Yeah, good.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, sure, you can check.
Looking at the map, are you next to the guy that had the seaplane?
I am,
Yes.
Does he still have it?
In-
I used to live on Burroughs, but.
he's in jail.
What was he following?
Supposedly he's getting out in a month,
Okay.
so.
I lived on Burroughs and there was some, local chatter on Facebook at one point about the legality of having a seaplane.
I remember that.
Apparently, other legalities.
I remember that.
Uh,
I quietly stayed on the 17-hour side of the road and stayed away from what was going on, so.
John was just jealous.
It was-
I was saying, I lived on a pond and the pond could support a
Like,
seaplane.
that
I
was
was
like
that's
so
cool.
much fun.
Yeah, it was
Go for a
entertaining.
ride. But glad I didn't go for a ride.
No, not with a new pilot.
What's that?
He was a new pilot.
Oh,
You don't want to refer, right?
Thank you.
But he hasn't had much practice last year. Thank you all very much.
thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, any administrative updates, all we got left, if you got any.
Sure, got a couple of things
Go
left.
through?
The next meeting on the 20 Elm Street 40B project is the ZDA on March 25th. They closed their public hearing and asked town council to draft a decision for them approving with conditions.
This is for,
This is for the 20 Elm Street 40B.
okay, so
ZDA.
the Board of Appeals finished their,
They have finished their hearing, but they haven't really started their deliberation. So they have 40 days from the close of their public hearing to issue a decision. So they're going to be deliberating, but they did at their last meeting instruct town council to write a draft decision
right,
approving with conditions. So I will be going on March. So as you know, we had our budget hearing meeting last night. There was a follow-up email today from the finance director saying that departments are all being asked to cut 3.5%, at least to propose cuts, not necessarily finalized cuts, but give suggested cuts to the select board. So our budget is mostly salary. So that's, $6,500 out of our budget
so
is
no more paper for the printer?
basically, yeah. So it's almost everything else that we have, with the one exception, and that's our membership in the Housing Services Office, which is $15,000 a year. I will say I'd really, really like to try hard to not cut that. I love being part of that office. They help us with monitoring. They help us when there's a refinance or a resale of an affordable unit. They help us keep our inventory in check. They're good consultants that we have on board right now and very experienced. I really like working with them. So I would, obviously, there's cuts being made all over the place and, there's a
So
lot
we
of
need,
money, but I'd love
we
to.
need to do a GoFundMe page for reams of paper.
The paper we can do without. I
We're
think-
moving the
Danielle
minutes.
steals it from other departments anyway, so she knows what she's doing.
I'm not paper.
We have so much.
I think
paper.
Dad ordered enough paper, we could make it to next year, don't worry.
She ordered us so many office supplies. I think she was afraid they were gonna start cutting, and so she ordered us
For
like a
Debbie?
lifetime supply, yeah.
She knows what she always knew what she was doing. She's
Yeah, I
been
think
around.
we're fine. I think we're fine. So,
And moving all the minutes to PDF, I mean, we're saving that printing.
Oh, wow, you're right.
Right.
Bonus.
Move everything to PDF, I mean.
we don't exactly need letterhead anymore because we just use a template that's online, so we don't need to be buying letterhead, even though we have reams of it. So there's a lot that we have that we don't need. So I will be able to get there. I'm hoping that that's not an item that's cut because I find it very hard. The paper we. So anyway,
That's part of the budget, see?
Oh.
we need some office
All right, let's all
supplies.
kick in $5, get her name. I'll make you one up with paper.
I did just want to mention too, it's not a big project, but it's one that North Reading residents have taken note of. Next to Marcus Landing on the piece of property that is in the town of Wilmington that was owned by the state, it's being developed. It's a 10-lot, single family house lot subdivision. And butter notices recently went out for Wilmington's planning board public hearing on it. And we got some calls from residents of Martin's Landing with some concerns. And it's a 10-lot subdivision and pretty standard. Wilmington's doing a hearing, but we have been, notified as abutters and also because, we're in a budding community and just so you know about it. Residents have been contacting. And I guess that is about it.
They're gonna be built on like shock absorbers there for the Benevento daily blast, so everybody out.
That's what happens here every day.
I know,
Like,
you guys get a good blast, it's gonna be even more there.
I know, I think, yeah.
Interesting.
It is.
Yeah, well, when you see the big crack in the walls.
Oh, listen.
I mean, there's like
I'm laughing, but that's not
10 acres of it right here. 10 acres
So
away.
you kind of just walk up, you're like, and then you move the thing back on the shelf. Progress.
That it?
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, our next meeting is. If anything else comes up with regard regard to select board meetings or EDC appointments or the EDC money or cuts or anything else, I'll just keep you informed.
Well, okay, speaking of ADCDC, do we have more people that want to be on that board? Is there
I'm sorry.
on the EDC, are there more people?
So it's interesting. There are 5 members that are, I think 5 members, their expiration date is all saying May 5th. Out of, yeah, look, take a look at the expiration date numbers. I do still have that list, Danielle. I'll get that to you. I'm sorry I didn't get it to you before, but because if there are 5 members that their date expires, I don't know that all will
Stay on.
stay on, and that.
Gonna be tough to go to town meeting and ask for money for a group that has no members.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I don't know how that's gonna work out. So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out a little bit. I'll probably give Maria a call and Pat or whatever, just kind of get around and say, hey, guys, you better show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I know, I was looking at the other day, and like the X-Buy is all the same day, May 5th. There's 5 people, I think.
Out of 9
Right
now.
Yeah, so there are 2, so what do we have, 5
We have 5 voting members.
voting members, 2 associate members.
Right.
And then there was an opening for, like, I think 2 more associates or,
We did unlimited assistance.
oh, okay, so,
2 more voting members.
right. so-
Plus anyone, people who are expiring don't want to be reappointed, then we might. And I think your appointment is, you're the CPC representative member, Vincenzo's the select board representative member, so
That's gonna be tricky.
we'll just do the best we can.
It's gonna be tricky.
You can still be a member, right?
Yeah, I could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be. So,
Okay. There is no further business, and I will declare us adjourned.
thanks everyone, thank you.